All right, let's go over how to configure or add statuses and build out a task sequence that would be simulating requesting bids from vendors, kind of awaiting client approval, and then moving it down into firing off the awarded bid task to that vendor, and then monitoring the progress of that job. So in the management and task configuration, we have, let's go to the default client here, different task plans. I mean, you can have plans per property type or per client. It's really up to you. Under here, I have a request bids task. You're going to set up this bid criteria. If you know the client's pre-approved bid price, this is for internal purposes only. Of course, you can kind of have it as a reference. And go through and set up the work description and what you want these vendors to provide you as a default here. And if you need to add a new status, just click New Status here. You can drag and drop and reorder statuses to kind of get your workflow dialed in. I've added a task under Required to request the bids. Once these get fired out to the vendors will come back and you'll choose one and then fire it off to your client and wait for them to get approval. Once that's been approved, then you're going to come back and you're going to have the system either automatically fire off that particular task for that rehab job and then allow the vendor to upload Dropbox links and so forth regarding that particular job. Let's just quickly demonstrate how to fire off a task to a vendor. I'm going to go ahead and grab really any one of these just for demo purposes here and assign this task to vendor or vendors. Here you can select 3 different vendors that you want to request bids from. You can include the lockbox HOA info. You can have a copy emailed to you if you want or really trust the vendor. They can complete it and then automatically trigger off that pending client approval sequence. And you can include a folder so they can upload their bids, photos, and so forth. And if you have a communication template kind of on the protocol that you want these vendors to follow, you can add communication letters here and select it and put it inside of the task. And then the note to vendor, this is property specific information that you can put in that'll be fired off to them as well. Once you've done that, you'll press submit. All the vendors will get their emails. And then you can come back and kind of review all of these different tasks and bids that are coming through and watch the progress underneath of the task dashboard. Inside of here, we can kind of get a quick glimpse of all the task categories of bids, for example, that you're waiting back from vendors. And you'll see we have one here. We're waiting for the bid to come back. Once it comes back, you can review it. You can look at the bid documents, photos by clicking the link on the left. And you can open it up and look at any notes that vendor has given back to you in the work description field. Of course, you'll be notified via email and updated all the way through the sequence and kind of automate the workflow. That way, you can set the system up to trigger the next tasks if you want to, or the next status, and kick back and kind of let the workflow mature and happen. If you have more questions, please let us know.